He was the forgotten son, overlooked, underappreciated, and constantly compared to the golden child. When years of favoritism and emotional neglect finally pushed James to cut ties with their mother, the family shattered. But now, with guilt, denial, and a wedding on the horizon, one brother is caught in the crossfire, and he's running out of ways to keep the peace. TLDR, my brother had enough of my mother's favoritism for another brother, and decided to cut contact. Yet my mother refuses to accept the situation. Sorry for long post. I come from a Middle Eastern country. So sorry for my bad English. My parents have 3 sons and 1 daughter. While I am the youngest, 32M. My eldest brother, John 50M, is by far the favorite child by my mother. My father doesn't express opinions often. When John was born, he had many health problems, so my mom practically lived with him in the hospital for the first year. Every time we talk about something, the topic changes to John. I can tell them that I have problems at work. Oh, John just solved his problems with his boss. Take advice from him. When talking to him, nothing of the sort happened. My mom expedited a meeting he had with his boss. It might be in my head, but I even have the feeling that she sometimes addresses my GF Joanna as Jonah. John can treat our parents however he wants, yet they magically forget it after 2 days. When I was in college, my mom called me crying, with enough urgency to ask me to leave class to take her call. Apparently, John was very mean to her. The day after, my mom gaslit me saying it was nothing. Needless to say, there is never an apology from John. Except for my sister, Mary 40F, who holds a government position, and my parents who are too old. All the siblings moved to different countries. John to Europe, James to Canada, and me to Australia. My parents visit John in Europe about 3 times a year, for 2 to 3 weeks a time in his country. They spend more time with John's family than with my sisters. They visited me or the second eldest James once. James moved to Canada about 6 years ago. My mother had a lot of problems with James and Mary. Ended up in couples therapy with both. Both times my mom claimed that their respective spouses are taking her child away from her and whispering mean things to them about her. While Mary had more emotional problems, Mom doesn't love her as much as John. Mom doesn't care about her children. Mom keeps on alienating her spouse. James's problems were very monetary. He claimed that the parents gave him less money than James, as well as babysit his kids less. As the last one to leave the nest, I had some more knowledge about my parents' finances. And I can say that except for one incident, which I will address later, my parents gave about $250,000 to John, about $300K to James, about $100K to Mary, and about $50K for me. I went back to grad school and did not get married yet, so I did not need much. In about 2010, my parents received a plot of land near their house, and told all the children that if they wish to have it, they can, if they agree to the following rules. A. The building of the plot will be led and mainly financed by the child. B. The child will live in said plot and help take care of the parents, who are growing old and in increasing need of aid. Mary, who held a government position on the other side of the country, and me, who only finished high school, were out of the picture. And James and John could not decide. James insisted that due to the high value of the land, it needs to be sold and split between the siblings, while my parents said that it's a no-go. After 2 years of debating, John picked up the glove and built the house, later living in it for about 4 years, before leaving the country due to work relocation, not by choice. But this is another story. James felt, and still feels, robbed. The main incident happened half a year ago. My parents, who are still in need of aid, decided to buy a house in Europe, next to John, claiming this is an investment for the future. When we will pass on, this house will be passed to UOP. While I live and plan on settling in Australia, which is, in fact, very far from Europe. When James heard about it, he blocked my parents. And a month ago, after he calmed down, he told me that he decided to cut ties with my parents. That he felt second best at most, that he couldn't shake the feeling that this animosity towards his wife continued for so long, and he is afraid to have the same treatment for his kids. He is also in therapy. My mother, on the other hand, is crying non-stop. About reaching out to him, about trying to go back in touch, about seeing her grandkids. She asks about him every day, and I don't know how to break it to her. The worst thing, she does not accept blame or guilt. She constantly gaslights things about everything being his fault, etc., and now I'm stuck in the middle of this charade. And she acts as if trying to change her in her old age is some sort of a crime. How can I tell her, look, his life is better now without you? It is your fault, and he cut you off knowingly. If you ever will be given a second chance, you will need to earn it. How can I convey the situation to my mom? Do you have any advice regarding solving this? Thank you in advance. Top comments. Commenter 1, he blocked you because you never treated him the same and treated his wife badly. Over and over whenever she asks until she stops. Commenter 2, how can I convey the situation to my mom? Short answer, you can't. Enough people have already tried. I know you're hoping for a magical phrase that will suddenly open her eyes to her faults, but it doesn't exist. You cannot change this. Your best bet is to step back. Make sympathetic noises when she goes off, but don't engage. Read about the gray rock method. Be the rock. No info goes out or in. Your mother will not change. Don't waste your energy in some futile effort to encourage her to be someone different. This is not your responsibility. Commenter 3, wow, it's really a hard situation. You shouldn't be forced to be their intermediate person. They are all adults and they should resolve their own problems. It sucks to have these kinds of problems within the family, but if the interested parties are not trying to communicate properly and try to resolve the problem, there's not much you can do. Update, 5.5 months later. Thank you for your input and comments. Though I did not reply, I did read them all. Cutting ties with my parents is not an option for me, nor is it something I intend on doing. I wanted to give a little update. I have decided not to take any drastic measures, and simply dismiss any time my parents try to probe with the next time maybe, I don't know, we'll see, etc. Recently, as you might be surprised, the Middle East kept trying to off each other. And I felt like this was the first time James tried to probe about the family. They are all safe, thankfully. My mom keeps writing letters to James and sending it via email. In these she tries to guilt-trip him into sending her information, such as pictures of his kids, etc., with wishes for him to soften his stone heart, and every time I hear about this, I am pissed time and time again. She keeps them all about herself, and there is so little if any care for him, how he is doing, and what happened between them. After the last time she sent me one, I was pissed out loud and told her off, saying that if she keeps sending it to him, he will block her email as well, something his friend slipped out. He does read them, at least until 6 months ago. And she asked me, well, what letter would actually help? Can you show me? I immediately thought, this might be a golden opportunity to let her see herself from the outside, and might be the only one in sight. So I agreed with one condition, that she would never send it. If she decides that she likes it, she would have to write something herself, in her own words, and her own interpretation. She was pissed. How dare I claim she might do such a thing? Such blatant plagiarism, etc., etc. She might have said more, but I could care less, lol, and it's not as if she would do such thing, would she? So after working with a friend, who is married to a Skyrim character, love you Sharguk, may you have a lovely bunch of Orcish humanoids in your future, we wrote the letter. James. I wanted to apologize, for everything. The image of our conversations hurting you for all these years is so painful, in addition to the idea that you feel the need to protect yourself from us, your own parents. I cannot undo what has been done up to now, but I can apologize, try to change, and maybe slowly we might be able to heal what is broken. Yet I cannot do it without your help. I know our actions made you feel unequal, that John is the priority, and I am so sorry for that. We have no such will or feeling, and I apologize that our action caused you to feel like that. We have a very difficult time being disconnected from you, your kids, your wife. In addition, I would like to apologize to your wife. Her addition to our lives included you drifting apart from us, and a lot of this frustration ended up against her, with no fault of her own. And for this we are sorry. As for only thanks to her we received our wonderful grandkids, for which we can only be thankful. I daily think about A, B, and C, grandkids' names, and wholeheartedly wish to have some sort of relationship with them. Next year, OP's wedding will take place, where we are going to meet. I would like to meet you there in a positive manner so as to allow OP the peace on his special day. He does not deserve that our situation will darken one of the most important days of his life. Especially with the current situation in our country. This day is not ours, it is his, and we need to make sure he is the center of this occasion. We need to make this day work, not only for him, but for us as well. Yes. This paragraph is egocentric AF by me, but I wanted to make sure that A. She is well aware about this. B. I will not tolerate any shenanigans in my wedding for F's sake. And if I am the one writing, then might as well. I don't wish to go back to our previous relationship. I wish to recreate and reconstruct a new one, in which I can assure you of your importance to me, in a way that will be acceptable for both sides, in a constructive and enriching manner. And would love your help rebuilding it. Love. Mom. After writing it, I kept it to myself until my mother will raise this topic again. Which took about a month. As we were talking about it, I reminded her of my one rule. To which she responded, yeah. We already talked about it. And I sent it to her. After reading it, she told me I'm a wonderful son and she is happy to have me. She said that she has read it and understands, and now understands my position about this better. Of course I didn't tell her I'm not the only one who wrote it, but I let her think whatever she wants. She said she agrees with everything but the paragraph about his wife, which she will continue to hate because of. I checked out in this part. I know about all the incidents, none are only the fault of the wife. And other than that part she agrees. And thinks about erasing it and sending it as is to him. I was pissed. And lost it at her. Literally one condition and she pisses all over it. I told her that if she does anything of sort, she could kiss my help goodbye from now on, and I was much less nice. She backtracked and said she was kidding, we both know she was not, and I told her to watch out. She started going to a shrink, once again. She tried before and stopped after 3 times the most. My guess is that she couldn't stand the mirror and preferred closing her eyes for it. But this time she will be persistent. It lasted 4 times. She wrote another letter. About a month after, more of the same previous guilt trips. Took absolutely nothing from my letter, for better or for worse. When I told her to look at the differences and see for herself, yours was ingratiating while mine was not. And with this my hope was lost. And with this I'm going back to my previous bubblehead mode and stonewalling every time they talk about him. The memorial for my hope with this subject will be held at the next Milwaukee Brewers game. Bring beers. Regarding myself, we sent the papers and are now officially husband and wife. I am the luckiest man alive. The ceremony will only take place next year, and I have already instructed my friends to block any chance of mischief from my mom. Thank you for all your help. Comments. Commenter 1. Congrats on your wedding. However, the letter you wrote is still full of guilt trips, half apologies, and not so much taking accountability. It basically says we didn't mean it that way, and this won't fly, because they did mean it that way. Moreover, your mom is the one doing all the reflection and talking, so it should be only about how she feels, not about both parents. So no we. She needs to acknowledge how unfairly she's treated him. All of you really, because even if you don't harbor as much resentment, you too were slighted. Trying to dress it up as just intents being misconstrued won't land, because it's playing your brother for a fool. Even a blind guy would see the intents. OP. Downvoted. Thank you for your comment. I respect your opinion and am grateful for your input. In regards to the we part, I was thinking about which parts are also correct about my father and which not. In the end, my father's actions were part of placing mom as the representing figure of both. Now in regards to the half apologies, I respectfully disagree. There is an immense difference between I'm sorry you feel this way and I'm sorry my actions caused you to feel this way. Not dissimilar to the difference of I'm sorry your foot broke to I'm sorry my driving caused your foot to break. The truth is that they don't do that out of malice, but out of negligence. And the first step would have to be our actions cause other people to feel X. Maybe something is wrong. A foot at the door. Giving her a letter of full admission of guilt of someone who does not acknowledge or realizes the problem will not be worth the digital ink it is written on. And if used, will only be used as deception. Regarding the wedding paragraph, the difference between peace and truce is the key. Needs to be said, this one was written more for her than for him. Because as stated, she was supposed to write her own and not send this one. In the end, all of it doesn't matter. She wanted to send him a letter with, you chose your own parents. Ones that did not raise you or woke up in the middle of the night to change you, didn't treat you when you were sick, and also stopped going to the shrink, so this was all in vain. Commenter 2. Keep an eye out that you don't turn into your mother as you grow older. You have a similar don't rock the boat mentality. OP. My mother has no don't rock the boat mentality. The opposite. She will flip the boat to keep her position as top of the pyramid, and this is why she never acknowledges that there is a problem in the way she acts. I believe you study from your parents two things: what to do and what not to do. And my mother teaches me a lot in the second part. Commenter 3, you're not a very good brother. I know you think you are stuck in the middle or whatever, but by not taking your sibling's side, your sister too, you're taking your psychomom's side. You are in fact coddling and enabling her. Your parents are AHs. She's wrong, your siblings are right. It's really pretty simple. Good luck with your marriage. It's crazy you think it's a good idea to invite all of them to your wedding though. Hope your fiancé is on board for drama. Commenter 4, that letter you wrote is not okay. I'm sorry OP, but it was very manipulative and took no accountability, no ownership, no emotional maturity. I don't know what letter your MOM wrote, but 1000% if she sent this letter to your brother it would have caused more damage to their relationship. It's very good she went to therapy, did reflection and wrote her own letter. You really need to stay out of this because you don't get James' position as much as you think you do.